Have you ever noticed how some people walk into a room and instantly command respect without saying a word, while others desperately seek validation but never quite get it? The difference isn't charisma, looks, or even success. It's something the ancient Stoics mastered 2,000 years ago, and today I'm going to show you exactly how to use it. By the end of this video, you'll understand the 5 Stoic principles that make people respect you automatically. And fair warning, the last one will completely change how you see yourself. So let's dive in. Section 1. The paradox of respect. Why chasing it pushes it away. Here's the thing most people get wrong about respect. The more you chase it, the less you get. It's like trying to grab water. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips through your fingers. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in Rome, wrote something profound in his private journal. It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. Think about that for a second. We're so desperate for external validation that we abandon our own values. And people can smell that desperation from a mile away. The Stoics understood a fundamental truth. Respect isn't given to those who beg for it. It's given to those who respect themselves first. When you stop performing for others and start living according to your own principles, something magnetic happens. People notice. They respect it. Because in a world full of people bending themselves into pretzels for approval, someone who stands firm becomes unforgettable. So principle number 1, stop seeking approval. Start seeking self-respect. Section 2, master your reactions, the ultimate power move. Let me tell you a story. Imagine you're in a meeting and someone publicly criticizes your work unfairly. Your heart races, your face flushes. Every fiber of your being wants to defend yourself, maybe even attack back. Most people would react, but here's what a Stoic would do. Nothing. At least nothing impulsive. Epictetus, who went from slave to one of history's most respected philosophers, taught, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." When you react emotionally to everything, you give away your power. You become a puppet and other people are pulling the strings. But when you create space between what happens and how you respond, you take that power back. Think about the people you respect most. Do they fly off the handle at every inconvenience? Do they crumble under criticism? No. They pause. They think. They respond with intention. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions. That's unhealthy. It means acknowledging them without being controlled by them. Feel the anger, notice it, then choose your response wisely. Principle number 2, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies your power and your respect. Section 3, speak less, say more, the art of powerful silence. We live in a world that won't shut up. Everyone's talking, posting, broadcasting their every thought. And in all that noise, there's something incredibly powerful about someone who knows when to be silent. The Stoics were masters of this. They understood that talking too much dilutes your power. When you speak constantly, your words lose value. But when you're selective, people lean in. There's an old story about Socrates. A student once came to him and said, "I want to learn from you." Socrates replied, "Then you must learn to be silent. For only when you stop talking can you truly listen and learn." Think about why people over-explain. It's usually insecurity. They're afraid they won't be understood, so they keep talking. But this has the opposite effect. It makes them seem unsure. Confident people don't over-explain. They state their truth clearly and concisely, then stop. They're comfortable with silence because they're not seeking constant validation. Here's a practical tip. Before you speak, ask yourself 3 questions. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? If it doesn't pass all 3, consider staying silent. Principle number 3, your silence can be more powerful than your words. Use it strategically. Section 4, take ownership, the accountability advantage. Let me share something uncomfortable. Most people are allergic to accountability. When something goes wrong, the instinct is to deflect, blame, or make excuses. But this destroys respect faster than almost anything else. The Stoics had a radical idea. Take ownership of everything in your sphere of influence. Not because everything is your fault, but because ownership gives you power to change things. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it's endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining. If it's unendurable, then stop complaining. Your destruction will mean its end as well." When you take ownership, even when something isn't entirely your fault, something remarkable happens. But people respect you more, not less. Why? Because accountability is rare. It signals strength, maturity, and trustworthiness. I saw this firsthand when a CEO friend of mine made a decision that cost his company millions. Instead of blaming his team or market conditions, he stood in front of everyone and said, "This was my call. I was wrong. Here's how we fix it." His team didn't lose faith. They rallied behind him. Respect isn't about being perfect. It's about being real and taking responsibility when things go sideways. Here's the key. Distinguish between what you can control and what you can't. For what you can't control, let it go. For what you can control, own it completely. Principle number 4, own your choices, own your mistakes, own your life. That's where respect lives. Section 5, live by your values, the ultimate respect magnet. Now we get to the big one, the principle that ties everything together. And this is where most people fail. We live in a world that constantly asks you to compromise. Bend your values here, cut this corner there, say what people want to hear instead of what's true. And every time you do, you lose a piece of yourself and a piece of respect. The Stoics believed in living according to virtue above all else. Not because it makes life easier, it often makes it harder, but because it makes life meaningful. And it makes you someone worth respecting. Seneca said, "If a man knows not which port he sails toward, no wind is favorable." You need to know what you stand for, because if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. I want you to think about someone you deeply respect. I guarantee they have clear values and they don't abandon them when it's inconvenient. They might not be perfect at living them out, but they try. Consistently. Here's the truth. You'll face moments where doing the right thing costs you. Maybe a relationship, a job, an opportunity. In those moments, most people cave. They rationalize. They compromise. But the people who command respect, they hold the line. They understand that temporary discomfort is nothing compared to the permanent loss of self-respect. And here's the beautiful part. When you live this way, you attract people who respect those values. You filter out the ones who don't. Your life becomes more aligned, more authentic, more powerful. Principle number 5, the most important. Define your values and live them, especially when it's hard. That's how legends are made. Conclusion. So let's bring this all together. The Stoic path to commanding respect isn't about manipulation or putting on a show. It's about becoming someone genuinely worthy of respect, someone who respects themselves. These aren't tricks or hacks. They're principles that have stood the test of 2,000 years because they're based on truth. When you live this way, respect isn't something you chase, it's something you naturally command. The question isn't whether these principles work. The question is, are you willing to live them? I want to hear from you. Which of these 5 principles resonates most? Which one do you struggle with? Drop a comment below. I read them all and I'll respond. If this video gave you value, hit that like button. It helps more people discover these timeless principles. And subscribe, because we're building a community of people committed to living with intention, purpose, and yes, self-respect. Remember, respect is earned by being respectable. And being respectable starts with how you treat yourself. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay stoic, stay strong, and stay true.